Hey everybody, it's Lon.TV, and it's time for another unboxing video, and I want some feedback from all of you. I got in 3 different video production devices the other day, and we're going to take them all out of the box, and I would love to hear from you as to which one I should review first, because all of these are interesting in different ways. Now this first item is a camera from PTZ Optics, and in full disclosure, they sent this to the channel free of charge. This is their Zcam Gen 2. And this is an NDI camera, which means it can send its video signal out over the network. You have a little guide here to help you get set up and operating. And again, we're going to have a full review of this soon, so we'll go into more detail on it. But this is the camera itself. And what this does is it offers a 4K sensor, but 1080p output. And so what that lets you do is kind of use it as a virtual PTZ. You can zoom in on different parts of the image, but the camera itself doesn't move unless you put it on something that does. But there are a lot of ports here on the back to play with. Now what you've got is the NDI output, and that will of course give you whatever you're zoomed in on or whatever else you're pointing the camera at, and that'll come in again over your network, and you have to have something that can accept NDI video. I use vMix, which works great with NDI. You can use OBS, you can use TriCasters. It's a pretty universal format at this point and very, very flexible. What's nice about this is that you can bring the NDI video into more than one thing at a time because, again, it's just out on your network and available. This uses the HX format, which is a compressed video signal, but it still looks great. I use a lot of HX stuff across my network, and I have not had too many problems with it. Now there are 2 SDI outputs on this one. My understanding is that one of these SDI outputs is the static full frame image, and the other one will be what you're zooming in on digitally. And we'll try all of that out in the full review to get a feel for how all of this stuff works. I believe this also works over PoE, so you should be able to power it just with the Ethernet connection, and that's something that we will also look at in the full review. But you do, of course, get a power adapter in the box if you prefer to plug it in directly. So we'll have more on this very soon. Feels pretty solid like all the other PTZ Optics products are. You can mount it upside down or right side up. The choice is yours. You've got mounting ports here for tripod screws, so you can pretty much position this thing any which way you want. So we'll be having some fun with this one very shortly. Let me know if you want to see this one first in the comment section. All right, the next item we're looking at here is the LivePro L1. This came in free of charge from its manufacturer as well. And let's open this up and see what's inside. Now this is kind of an alternative to the Blackmagic ATEM Mini. It's priced about the same. It won't have the same level of support perhaps, but it does a lot of the same things. Now if you're not familiar with the ATEM Mini, it is an HDMI video switcher, and that's what this one is as well. This certainly doesn't feel as well built, but it is pretty heavy. And what it does is it will allow you to plug in 4 different HDMI sources and switch between them. This one will also output whatever the program signal is out its HDMI output. It's also got USB and Ethernet on here, and we'll test out all this stuff to see exactly what it does in the full review. I'll give you an overhead view of it here as well. Now what's different about this one is that you have a physical T-bar on it. They also have a display here as well, which will show you all 4 inputs on its little screen here so you can see what's coming in. So you might be able to do a little bit more on this one, at least from the standpoint of previewing what things are coming into it. The one issue that people have with the ATEM Mini is that it doesn't have a live view to see what your inputs are looking like. This one will give you all 4 of them in a little tile box here, and we'll try that out when we do the full review. It also looks like you have some volume control here for the audio, and you can switch between different effects. Again, we'll be doing a lot more with this very shortly on the main channel, and we'll probably have a live stream as we are playing around with it. And again, this is the LivePro L1 from Feelworld. All right, the next item to unbox here is the YoloBox from YoloLiv, and this is a fully self-contained video switching production device that you could, if you want, mount on top of your camera. This is a little more expensive than the last one we just looked at, and again, we'll be reviewing this on the main channel here in a few days, or maybe in the next week or 2. We'll see what my schedule is looking like here. Now, this also came in free of charge from the manufacturer. And let's get this thing out of the box here. There we go. Now, my understanding is that this is kind of running on Android, so it's going to be a little more capable and, again, self-contained, so you don't necessarily need to have the computer with you to get everything going. It also has a bunch of connectivity options on it as well. It can actually do the streaming for you, by the way, in case you were curious about that. So on the top here, it looks like you've got a little tripod mount. There's an SD card slot here, so you can record onto it directly. I'll flip it around so we can get the orientation correct. It's got a SIM card here as well because it is compatible with 4G networks. So in addition to, I believe, Wi-Fi and Ethernet, Ethernet, it also can go onto a cellular network. You have an audio output here. Your power button is there. I'm pretty sure it's battery powered also. We'll see if we can get it to boot up here real quick. It kind of looks a lot like a tablet from the front. They did tell me there's a big update that they just pushed down, so we're going to have to install that before we get into the main review, which we will do. Now, for inputs, this is a little more limited than some of the other ones that are out there because it only supports 2 HDMI camera inputs, so you can only switch between 2 active live sources. I do, though, believe that you can plug in a webcam into it as well, and we'll double check that again when we do the full review. Like some of the other ones, it has an HDMI output, and you've got your Ethernet going in here. And I'll just briefly jump through the setup process here and get going. We'll select my time zone here, which is going to be closest to New York. And we'll run through that real quick. I got to register and get everything else going here, which we'll do a little bit later. But yeah, it feels a lot like a tablet, but a lot thicker with a bunch of video inputs on it. But again, we will put this one through its paces. We'll probably do a live stream as we do that so you can get a feel for exactly what it's like to get it set up and operating. So we'll do that on a separate live stream. I'm actually live streaming right now as we're doing this. Here you can see some of the things that it can support via its input. So it looks like you could get a third camera in if you had an HDMI to USB 3 adapter. So it looks like it does take a UVC camera in there. And again, a lot to this one. So this one will probably take a while to go through. Let's see what else is in the box, though, because the other ones just had power adapters. Let's see if there's any other cables or anything else in here. So, oh, wow, there's a lot of stuff in here. So let's take a look at the other things in the box. So we've got an HDMI cable. That's always good to see. We have another HDMI cable, so they give you 2 of them here. You have a little pouch to carry it with. You have a power adapter. It looks like it's got a battery on board, so it's able to run off of that. We'll figure out what the battery length is on it. This is a little USB cable, USB-C cable to charge it. And then you've got your hot shoe or cold shoe mount here that you can use to mount it on top of your camera. So lots to see on this one. Looks like there'll be a lot to unpack with it. And we'll have a full review of this coming up very shortly, again, along with some live streams as we start evaluating all of these products. Lots of stuff to look forward to here. So let me know what you want to see first down in the comments section, and that will be the one that we do first. I appreciate the feedback because it really helps us prioritize things, and it's always fun to get more relatively inexpensive video production switching gear in to play around with. And I'll see you very soon with reviews and live streams of all of this stuff. That's going to do it for now. Until next time, this is Lon.TV. Thanks for watching.
This channel is brought to you by the Lon.TV supporters, including gold level supporters Tom Albrecht, Chris Allegretta, Mike Patterson, and Bill Pomerantz. If you want to help the channel, you can by contributing as little as $1 a month. Head over to lon.tv/support to learn more. And don't forget to subscribe. Visit lon.tv/s.